Both Sass and Autoprefixer have existing Gulp plugins that we can use, so let's install them as project dependencies. Execute npm install Gulp Sass in your terminal, which will install the plugin so we can use it in our Gulp file. Now we have to change the folder structure slightly to account for the generated CSS output files. Create a new folder in your project directory and call it Sass. Now move the files main.css and extra.css from the CSS folder into the Sass folder and rename the extension to .scss. We just turned them into Sass files that soon got compiled into a CSS file with our new task, into the now empty CSS directory. OK. Before we can use the Gulp Sass plugin, we need to make it available to Gulp. This works exactly as expected, just require it as dependency right after Gulp. Moving on, we create a new task and name it styles, which is what the first argument is for. The second function, as previously, is executed when a task is called. Now we just need to tell Gulp what files we want it to work with. For that, Gulp has a special command called source on the Gulp object. The line I just added looks for files with the .scss extension in the Sass folder and any potential subdirectories. Now that we have the files, we'll pipe them to Sass. The pipe function on the stream of files we just created takes a destination that the plugin provides, so we call Sass right here. The good news is that we have converted our files from Sass to proper CSS now. The bad news is that we haven't saved them anywhere. So finally we use pipe again and use the gulp desc function to specify our final destination, the CSS folder. This is all we have to do to make it work, but by default the whole build will stop and error out when Sass discovers an error. That's not always what you want. Very often it's better to finish and actually let you see what error happened. Many plugins, such like Gulp Sass, emit events for this scenario. Listening to the error event on the Sass object and inserting the Sass log error function here changes the default behavior. Instead of killing the whole build, it tells Gulp to simply log the error and go on as usual. This looks much better. Now let's remove the CSS error and try running Gulp styles in your terminal. See how the CSS files came back into your CSS folder. These are now generated from the original Sass files. Now would be a great time to get familiar with Sass if you haven't already. Just to give you an example, I can now go ahead and nest my CSS to clean it up. First mission accomplished.